Okay, good morning everyone. This is lecture number 41 of Engineering Thermodynamics. In last lecture, we have seen a racking cycle, but today we will also repeat same what we have done in the last lecture. Racking cycle is a basic cycle which is used for the thermal power plant, steam powered power plant. Rankine cycle is a theoretical cycle on which the steam turbine works. Rankine cycle is a theoretical cycle on which steam turbine works. Why it is called as a theoretical cycle? Because theoretical cycle cannot give us actual parameters or the actual efficiency. Therefore, we use a modified Rankine cycle in the actual power plant. Now today we'll study theoretical Rankine cycle. Now Rankine cycle is a basic cycle which is used in thermal power plant or the steam turbine. It consists of mainly four components. First is a boiler. In a boiler, water is converted into steam. Then that steam is supplied to the turbine, where turbine rotates and the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy and we get electricity. Then steam from the turbine is exhausted to the condenser where cooling of a steam takes place with the help of cooling water and cooling tower. Then condensed steam, or we can say saturated steam, enters in the pump and pump push the cold water again in the boiler. In the boiler is a type of a heat exchanger as well as condenser is a type of a heat exchanger. Boiler and condenser both are heat exchanger. Heat exchanger is a simple pipe which are been folded in a different fashion. It is a hollow pipe through which steam or any fluid we can say pass. Since there is no restriction inside the heat exchanger, pressure remains constant. Therefore, in a boiler and in condenser, pressure remains constant. But in turbine, steam enters at very high pressure. In the turbine, pressure decreases. In the pump, water enters at very low pressure and pump raise the pressure of water so that water can enter in the boiler, because in the boiler there is a high pressure. Inside boiler, pressure is high. To enter or to supply water in the boiler, we have to pressurize water above the boiler pressure. Therefore, we use pump. Okay, we'll start from the boiler. From the pump, water enters. From the pump, subcooled water. Subcooled water means it is not saturated, means it is not about to boil. Suppose we are considering atmospheric condition, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It means water enters in the boiler below 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, below 100 degrees Celsius at atmospheric condition is called as subcooled water. But condition is different inside the boiler, therefore we cannot say the temperature is below 100 degree. It may be above 100 degree, but it is a subcooled liquid because pressure inside the boiler is very high. Subcooled water enters in the boiler. Subcooled water gets heated. First, subcooled water is converted into saturated water, and saturated water is then converted into saturated vapor. And saturated vapor means saturated steam enters in the turbine. Saturated steam enters in the turbine. Steam strikes on the turbine blade, turbine rotates, and the shaft of the turbine is connected to the generator, which convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, and we get a power. We get a electric power output. The steam which is supplied to the turbine is exhausted and supplied to the condenser. The steam which is coming out from the boiler is at high temperature and high pressure. high temperature, high pressure steam enters in the turbine where temperature and pressure drop takes place in the turbine. The temperature and pressure both decreases in the turbine. That steam at a low temperature and low pressure enters in the condenser. Low temperature means it is not like atmospheric temperature, it is about 300-400 degrees Celsius. And it is not condensed, it is not completely liquid, it is a mixture of water and vapor. Therefore, we cannot supply that mixture of water and vapor in the boiler directly through the pump. We need pump to supply water because we have to supply pressurized fluid in the boiler, but we cannot supply mixture of water and vapor because pump is used to push the liquid only. Pump is used to push the liquid only. If we supply mixture of water and vapor directly in the boiler, pump need to push mixture of water and vapor, and vapor is a compressible, therefore work required to drive pump will be greater and the overall efficiency of the plant will be decreased. Therefore, we need to condense it first from mixture to saturated liquid. Therefore, we pass mixture of water vapor from the turbine to the condenser so that it can condense to saturated liquid. Then saturated liquid from the condenser is supplied to the pump where pump pressurizes the saturated liquid, and this saturated liquid convert into subcooled liquid because we know that when the pressure increases, saturation temperature also increases. Here the temperature more or less remains same, but due to the pressure the condition of water changes. The water transforms from saturated water to subcooled water. Then subcooled water enters in the boiler. In the boiler, heat is supplied with the help of furnace. Therefore, heat supplied to the boiler is a Q1. In the condenser, heat is removed with the help of cooling water. In a condenser, cold water from the river or maybe any pond is used to cool down the steam. Therefore, heat is removed in the condenser and heat removed in the condenser is written as Q2. In a turbine, we get work output, that is electricity. Therefore, turbine is a work generating device. Turbine is a work generating device. Pump is used to pressurize the water and supply that water to the boiler. Therefore, we need to supply work to the pump. Therefore, some part of work generated in turbine is consumed in the pump, but it is very less. Therefore, the net output of the plant is turbine work minus pump work. Suppose turbine is generating 10 kilowatt and 1 kilowatt is consumed in the pump. Therefore, net output is 10 minus 1, that is 9 watt. This is a TS diagram. This is saturation curve. This red line represents the saturation curve. This red line represents the saturation curve. Let us consider the point. Point 1 and point 2 is given across the turbine. And in the turbine, water enters at saturated steam condition. Steam enters at saturated steam condition. Therefore, point 1 and 2 is across the turbine. Means at point 1, saturated steam enters in the turbine. In turbine, isentropic expansion of steam takes place. During isentropic expansion, entropy remains constant. During isentropic expansion, entropy remains constant. Therefore, you can see here on the entropy line, point 1, 2 is on same point B. Therefore, from process 1 to 2, process 1 to 2 is isentropic expansion in a turbine. Now, what is isentropic expansion? In isentropic expansion, process means reversible adiabatic process. An adiabatic process is where heat transfer is zero. Why heat transfer is 0 in the turbine? Because turbine is perfectly insulated so that no heat can transfer from surrounding to system and system to surrounding. Therefore, heat remains inside the system, or heat transfer is 0. Therefore, this process is called as a adiabatic process, and this is a reversible type of process. Therefore, it is isentropic. Now, process 2 to 3. Process 2 to 3 is a condensation process in the condenser. As I told you, condenser is a heat exchanger. Pressure remains constant in the condenser. In condenser, mixture of water vapor is converted into saturated water. Only phase change takes place, and we know that during phase change temperature remains constant. Therefore, you can see from process 2 to 3 temperature is constant. This is temperature line, and you can see temperature at point 2 and 3 is same. Therefore, in condenser only phase change takes place. In condenser, since condenser is a heat exchanger, pressure remains constant, but in condenser phase change takes place, and phase change takes place at constant temperature. Therefore, it is constant temperature, constant pressure condensation process. Now process 3 to 4. Process 3 to 4 is a pumping process. Process 3 to 4 at point 3, saturated water enters in the pump, and pump pressurize that saturated water, and that water enters in the boiler. While pumping, pressure increases. While pumping, pressure increases. As the pressure increases, temperature of the fluid also increases. At point 3, at the entry of the pump, at the entry to the pump, it is saturated water. Therefore, you can see point 3 on saturation line. But while pumping, pressure increases and that saturated water becomes subcooled water. Therefore, you can see point 4 in the subcooled region. Outside the saturation curve, it is a subcooled. Then subcooled water enters in the boiler, where first subcooled water is converted into, at point 4, subcooled water enters in the boiler. First subcooled water is converted into saturated water. Subcooled water is converted into saturated water. During further heating, the saturated water is converted into saturated liquid. Only heat is supplied, sensible heat is supplied from point 4 to A, so that temperature of water can raise from subcooled temperature to saturated temperature. But from point A to point 1, only phase change takes place, and to change the phase, we need to supply latent heat. Therefore, heat supplied in the boiler starts at point 4 and ends at point 1. Therefore, total heat supplied in the boiler is 4 to 1. Total heat supplied from in the boiler is 4 to 1, and that total heat is supplied is divided into two parts. First is 4 to A is a sensible heat, and A to 1 is latent heat. Then again from point 1 to 2 is a isentropic expansion in turbine. Also in the pump, process is isentropic pumping. Process takes place in the pump is isentropic pumping. Let us look at on the TS diagram. TS diagram is a Mollier chart. I will explain Mollier chart. This is a saturation curve on the Mollier chart. On the TS diagram, you can see saturation curve is slightly different on the TS diagram. We change the parameter, we change the axis, the saturation curve changes because it varies as per the property. Okay. Now process, look at here process 1. Process 1 to 2 is a expansion process in the turbine, and point 1 is on a saturation curve. It means we are considering that saturated steam is enter in the turbine. We are considering that saturated steam enters in the turbine, and that saturated steam is expanded in the turbine. Then 2 to 3 condensation, 3 to 4 again pumping, 4 to 1 then heat transfer in the boiler. Suppose the water is not converted into saturated steam, it is converted into mixed steam, mixture of water and vapor. Okay, suppose the water which is being supplied in the boiler is not converted completely into saturated steam, it is converted into mix. Then here it is written as 0.1 dash, and 0.1 is inside the saturation curve. Inside the saturation curve, this portion represents the wet region. Wet region means a mixture of water and steam, mixture of water and vapor. Now consider mixture of water and vapor, or we can say wet steam enters in the turbine at 0.1 dash, and it is expanded in the turbine from 0.1 dash to 2 dash. Remaining process is same, 2 dash to 3 condensation, 3 to 4, 3 to 4 pumping, 4 to 1 dash, again heat transferring boiler. Suppose water is converted into superheated steam. Superheated steam means the 0.1 lying outside the saturation curve. 0.1 lying outside the saturation curve means this region is a superheated region. On this curve, it is a saturated. This is a critical point. On the right hand side of critical point, it is saturated vapor. On the left hand side of critical point, it is saturated liquid. Between saturation curve, inside the saturation curve, it is a wet vapor. Okay. Suppose 0.1 is outside the curve, therefore it is superheated steam. Consider superheated steam enters in the turbine. Superheated steam enters in the turbine, and isentropic expansion takes place in the turbine from 0.1 to 0.2. Here you can see at this point succeeded area inside this curve increases. It means work output also increases. Look at the area inside from inside 1 dash 2 dash 3 4 is less. Area inside 1 2 3 4 is slightly greater. Area inside 1 dash 2, it will be 2 dash 2 double dash. Area inside 1 double dash 2 double dash 3 4 is greater than these two area. Therefore work done in this case, or the output in this case, will be greater than the other case. Now the Rankine cycle, it comprises of the following processes. Process 1 to 2 is a reversible adiabatic. Reversible adiabatic is nothing but isentropic process. Isentropic expansion takes place in the turbine. 2 to 3 is a constant pressure heat transfer. Constant pressure transfer of heat, or constant pressure heat transfer, or heat loss process, or cooling process we can say in the condenser. Then process 3 to 4 takes place in the pump. It is a reversible adiabatic, or we can say isentropic pumping process takes place. Then process 4 to 1 is a constant pressure heat transfer of heat in the boiler. We can say constant pressure heat transfer in the boiler, and heat is transferred to the boiler from the furnace. A figure shows the Rankine cycle on TS and HS diagram. When the saturated steam enters the turbine, the steam can be wet or superheated also. We have seen all three cases. When the entry to the turbine is wet, entry to the turbine is saturated vapor, entry to the turbine is superheated vapor. Consider 1 kg of fluid. 1 kg of fluid means it may be steam, and water. Okay, suppose we are considering 1 kg of water, the same amount of water is converted into steam, therefore amount of water and amount of steam will be same in this case. Applying steady flow energy equation to the turbine. Okay, look at the figure. We are applying steady flow energy equation to the turbine from point 1 to 2. When steam enters in the turbine at point 1, steam has some enthalpy. Okay, and that by using this enthalpy, turbine gives output that is WT, and it rejects some amount of heat. Therefore, enthalpy at point 1 is converted into work done plus enthalpy at point 2. Okay, for boiler, okay, for the boiler, in the boiler subcooled water enters in the boiler at point 4. Here condition of water is a subcooled. Therefore, for subcooled and saturated water we write HF. Since it is point 4, we are writing HF4. And heat is added to the boiler. It's converted into steam at point 1. Therefore, enthalpy at point 1 is a sum of enthalpy at point 4 plus heat supplied. Here you can see enthalpy at point 4 means water is supplied with a enthalpy HF4, then heat is added to the boiler and it convert into steam with a enthalpy H1. Therefore, therefore Q1 is equal to H1 minus HF4. Heat supplied to the boiler is equal to enthalpy at outlet minus enthalpy at inlet. Then turbine is working between point 1 and point 2. Therefore, enthalpy at point 1 is equal to work done plus enthalpy rejected. Therefore, H1 is equal to WT plus H2, and WT is the turbine work. Therefore, to find turbine work, WT is equal to H1 minus H2. Work output from the turbine is a difference of enthalpy across the turbine, that is H1 and H2. We have to take difference of H1 minus H2. Since H1 is greater, we will write H1 first, then H2. For condenser, in a condenser, wet steam enters at point 2. Therefore, the enthalpy at point 2 is H2, and heat is removed and we get saturated water at enthalpy at point 3. Therefore, H2 is equal to Q2 plus HF3. Q2 is a heat removed in the condenser. Therefore, Q2 is equal to H2 minus HF3. Now, Q2 heat rejected in the condenser is equal to enthalpy difference across condenser, that is H2 minus H3. Then, for the feed pump, saturated water enters in the pump at point 3. In the pumping process takes place and subcooled water leaves from the pump. Therefore, work done on the pump, we are supplying saturated water at point 3, that is HF3, and we are supplying work done to the pump, and it is giving us subcooled water at point 4, that is HF4. Therefore, HF3 plus WP is equal to HF4. WP is equal to HF4 minus HF3. Only we have to take heat supplied or heat rejected across boiler and condenser. Heat supplied across boiler and heat rejected across condenser. Heat supplied across boiler is H1 minus H4. Work done across turbine is H1 minus H2. Heat rejected across condenser H2 minus H3, and work supplied to the pump is enthalpy across pump, that is H4 minus H3. Okay, since here it is a liquid, H4 is a HF3, and here also it is a liquid, it is HF3. Now, efficiency of the Rankine cycle is output upon input, and output is a net work output, and input is a heat supplied from the furnace to the boiler. Now, what is net output? We are getting work done from the turbine and we are using some part of that work to run the pump. Therefore, net work is WT minus WP, and Q1 is heat supplied. Now, WT, work done in the turbine is H1 minus H2 and work supplied to the pump is HF4 minus HF3 and heat supplied to the boiler is H1 minus HF4. Now, if we find out the work required to drive pump, pump is a flow device, therefore we have to apply formula of work done of flow process, that is V into dP. V into dP. The feed pump handles liquid water which is incompressible. Which is incompressible means volume remains constant, which means with the increase in pressure its density or specific volume undergoes a little change. Using general property relation, the reversible adiabatic process, we get heat supplied is equal to dH minus V into dP. Now, process takes place in the pump is isentropic, therefore dH is equal to 0. Therefore, this term is equal to 0. Therefore, we can write dH is equal to V dP. Now, dH is equal to V into dP. Now, dP is a change in pressure P1 minus P2, but in this case we can write P3 minus P4, and change in enthalpy HF4 minus HF3. Why we are writing H1 minus H2? Because the pressure change takes place above the pump and below the pump. In the pump, we can say at the entry to the pump pressure is less, and at exit to the pump pressure is high. Therefore, P1 is a pressure at the exit to the pump and P2 is a pressure at entry to the pump. When P is in the bar and V is in the meter cube per kg, meter cube per kg means V is a specific volume. We have HF4 minus HF3 equal to V3 P1 minus P2 into 10 to the power 5 joule per kg. The feed pump term HF4 minus HF3 being a small quantity, if we take the difference of HF4 and HF3, it is a very small in comparison with the turbine work. WP is usually neglected, especially when the boiler pressure are low. When the boiler pressure are low, in that case we get HF4 minus HF3 is very small as compared to enthalpy change in turbine. Since this value is very small, the work supplied to the pump is very small as compared to work generated in the turbine. Therefore, WP is most of the time neglected. Therefore, Rankine efficiency is the ratio of WT upon heat supplied. Okay, WT is H1 minus H2 and heat supplied is H1 minus HF4.